Chris, thanks for joining us. Very warm welcome to Northampton. How have you found your first week here?
I'm not sure about the warm part, but it's been the people have been great, mate. So I've really enjoyed the week here.
What have you been up to? What does this week entail? Obviously a flying visit, but I'm sure you've got plenty done.
Yeah, I have. It's been a meeting-a-thon, really. I've managed to meet all the coaches and all the strength and conditioning trainers and the analytical people and all the medical people, and so we're just setting up, making sure we've got some really good alignment going forward.
You've been here before. You mentioned when we made the announcement that you came here in, was it 2007, I think, with Wayne Smith?
2004.
2004.
Yeah.
So how much has this place changed since you last came here?
Yeah, well, the memory's a little bit fuzzy. I remember the water feature and the main road. I remember the road out there and the stand, obviously the new stand on the, was it the south end or the back end here? So that's new. But the thing that I remember most of all when I came here with Wayne in 2004 was the passion of the people and the supporters, and he loved the town, and Smithy's a great man, and he loved the town and the people and the sport that he got. And I went to 5 other clubs in 2004 when I was here, and this, I remember, was always a standout for me. So it was a great opportunity.
Wayne, of course, the guy who's held in high regard here. Did you consult him before making this decision? Was he a big part in that?
I certainly talked to him about it. We had quite a long chat, or a couple of long chats really. So Smithy's a great man, and had a fair bit to do with him in New Zealand. He's been the number one coach for me in New Zealand for a long period of time, and is held in high regard by a lot of people. And so I was always felt comfortable with Northampton as a destination, and a conversation with him sort of reinforced that as well.
What excites you about the Premiership, the style of play over here, the challenge for you?
Well, there's certainly challenges. I think as a coach, it's different, and so the thing that's challenging for me is the unknown. I've got a pretty good idea in my head of how I like the game to be played, and that's all relates to the Southern Hemisphere stuff. So one of the things that I think is really important for me is to really get a handle on the differences between rugby in the north and the south, and the athletes in the north and the south, and the way it can be played, and just the culture of the game. So it's not the same. I'm a bit of a tragic. I watch. We have in New Zealand. We have a rugby channel which I subscribe to, and I watch quite a bit of the European stuff, the Premiership and the French League and the Celtic leagues. So watch a fair bit, and there is differences in the game, and so adapting my thinking to how might be the best way to play for Northampton, I think, is going to be critical.
People will be excited though. They'll watch the way the Canes play, the way you coach, and they'll want some of that at the Saints. There's going to be elements of that, I guess, you'll bring across.
Certainly, in the bracket or the continuum of conservative to optimistic, I certainly sit right down the optimistic end, and winning is really important in high performance sport, but I also want people to come to Franklin Gardens and enjoy the spectacle and know that the boys are trying really hard and they're giving it everything. And I think, as a supporter, you can have some disappointment about the final score, but if you can really buy into the fact that the players are giving everything for their team, then I think that's a really important thing.
One of the guys who'll be helping pressure your ethos, Sam Vesti, a new signing in the backroom staff. What attracted you to him? What makes him a good coach for Saints?
Yeah, well, I didn't have a lot of knowledge about what was available up here, and I did a lot of research around high potential up and coming coaches. And for me, I think it's really important that you have a group of coaches that are open-minded and wanting to learn and wanting to grow and enthusiastic and modern, and probably most of all are highly competent in their areas. So you've got to have good knowledge. But players of today demand knowledge and accurate knowledge. And when I researched around, Sam's name kept coming up as a young guy who has got a lot of credibility in the space that he was doing. So I managed to connect with him, and he was excited about the opportunity of coming here. So we managed to get him across the line, which I think is a good signing for us.
And strong recruitment off the pitch as well. How involved have you been in that? Obviously, Ben Frank signing yesterday. We've had Tangeli Naira-Voro and Dan Bigger as well. Exciting times.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think there's four new signings, and there's probably a couple in the wind that are not far away. And I think, in my mind, I think they're all good signings. You're never 100% sure when you sign somebody, how they're going to adapt to the team and the environment and fit in. But I've had a lot of good reports about those boys that I don't know personally. I know Ben Franks really well. Ben is probably the most professional athlete that I've ever coached. His attention to detail is somewhere between meticulous and anal. He's just an absolute total professional. So I think he'd be great for the environment.
A lot of strength in the team as well, though. You'll retain a lot of good players for next year. What have you made of the way Saints have played this season? Areas of strength and maybe some areas to build on?
Well, I think it's been a tough year for the Saints, obviously, with the change in staff and the cloud hanging over what's going on. I think they've managed pretty well in respect of those issues. It's been tough for this year, but I think what it does is it gives us an opportunity next year to come in with a free, new broom, have a sweep, get a refocus around what it is to be a Saint and what we're all about, what we want to achieve. So I think it's a bit of a new beginning.
I understand you met with some of the players, including Dylan. How did that go?
Yeah, I went down to Penny Hill yesterday and had a good yarn to Dylan, and that was great. I found him outstanding, actually. Never met Dylan before, although he's a Kiwi. I've had the privilege of working with some pretty good captains over the years. When I was at the Sharks, John Smith was the captain down there, and he obviously was a great captain and influential when I started in the early days. Tan Umang was the captain there, and he was a great captain, and I can already sense that Dylan is a man that's a really good leader of men. So we connected pretty well immediately, and I think had a really good conversation, and I think our thinking around what we want to do over the next couple of years here in the Saints is strongly aligned.
Did you say you've learned a lot this week? I know you're coming back again, but it's been of great value, I guess.
Oh, massive value. I mean, we have a bye week back in Super Rugby this week, so it's a bit of a haul. It's 2 days up, and I've been here for 4 days, and I'll go home tonight. Don't get home till Sunday, and back into Hurricanes mode on Monday. So, but it's critical. I'll be up in March now for this visit. I'll come back in April for another visit where we'll make sure we get the game plan and the philosophy around the pre-season nailed, and then in the southbound test series where England go to South Africa and France come to New Zealand during that period of time, the Super Rugby stops for 3 weeks. So I'll get back here for a couple of those weeks, and I'll be here for the start of pre-season, which I think is really important to connect with the crew for next year. So yeah, it's been really good, and the challenge for me is really exciting.
That's the serious stuff out of the way, Chris. No, you don't have to reveal too much. But tell us something that the Saints supporters might not know about you as a guy, something you enjoy passionately away from rugby, just the man behind the mask.
Well, the UK is not new to me. I lived in, like a lot of Antipodean travellers, I left college and studied as a pharmacist, so I'm actually a qualified pharmacist a very long time ago, but I got sick of counting pills or peddling pills, so but I lived in London for 4 years in the 80s and really enjoyed that. So, and we travelled a lot. So Linda, my wife, and I, we did an awful lot of backpacking, travelling, and visiting all sorts of exotic places. So I'm a bit of a lone walker, really.
Which part of London?
Well, in those days, we all sort of congregated around Shepherd's Bush and Earl's Court and Acton and sort of in that area. And when I came back in 2003, actually, I went on a nostalgic tour for a day, and I got my tube pass and went back to all my old pubs and all the old places. And actually, sadly, my last house that I lived in, which was in a place called Bronca Road off Acton High Street, the house doesn't even exist anymore. It's been pulled down, and there's a great big estate there. So, I absolutely loved my time here during that period of time. It was a really fun time for us, and to get into, it's doorstep to such many cultures that are close by. So, yeah.
Finally, Chris, we appreciate your time. Just a final word. Do you have a message for Saints supporters, something you'd say to them ahead of next season?
No, again, for me, I just remember the passion of the town when Smithy was here, and they had a pretty good period then. And one of my biggest hopes here is that we can engage our people, whether that's our sponsors or our fans or our community. I just want people to be proud of the way that the Saints play on the field, and that's really important for me. So winning's important, and we won't ever get by from the fact that every single game we play, we want to win, and we will try our hardest to do that always. But I just want us to play a good game of rugby that people really enjoy coming down and watching.
Chris, thanks so much for your time. We'll see you again soon. Good luck with the rest of the season with the Canes.
Thanks very much.